hold up. So let me get this straight. The rumor title for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 is The Legend of Zelda Breath of Duality? Is it just me, or does this sound super dumb and super fake? Hey guys, it's Rob here, and welcome back to the RoboChan Show, where we take the gaming news format that channels like Spawnwave or Arlo do, add a dash of animation and some cool editing on top to bring you your gaming news, leaks, and rumors in a fresh new way. If you're new here and want to be kept up on everything gaming, make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave a like if you enjoy the video and dislike if not. In this video, we are going to talk about some recent Nintendo Switch leaks, rumors, and news that has happened over the past couple days. These include possible Animal Crossing DLC for multiplayer, the Breath of the Wild 2 title that sounds super fake to me, and a rumor about a Call of Duty game coming to the Nintendo Switch as well. If you guys enjoy this video, leave a like, it helps the video out when you do, and if you want to follow me on Twitter and help me reach my goal of 900 followers, you can follow me at roborob93. Without further delay, let's talk about some Nintendo stuff. So first up guys, let's talk about the recent Nintendo Switch leak about The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, which is what we've been calling it for a while now. The game, as far as we know right now, is aiming for a 2022 release, but we still don't have that game title for the second part of the title. Now one thing that many of us thought more than likely that it would spoil something in the game that has to do with the story of Breath of the Wild 2, and that's why we don't have the title yet. I mean, it's either that or they just haven't decided on the final title yet. Either way, we don't know the subtitle that's going to be next to The Legend of Zelda, but this Nintendo leak may give us a name for that. Now this Nintendo leak comes from veteran video game journalist Paul Gale, who according to Nintendo Life runs his own website, has been in Nintendo Power, and has worked for many other gaming outlets over the years. So as far as I can tell, this is someone who does appear to have some knowledge on the industry on some level. This is what Paul Gale has to say about the Breath of the Wild 2 title. The sequel of Breath of the Wild and its main hook is right in its name, which establishes on the breath familiarity from the 2017 hit, giving the nod to the fact that you can play as more than one aforementioned titled Link, including various polar themes, hence duality. Duality between character abilities on land and floating regions, past and present, darkness and light, etc. The individual did note that this name was seen a considerable amount of time ago, supposedly, and could have been one of the template titles. If real, it does make sense on why Nintendo has been hush-hush on the title. If fake or not final yet close to what the actual name ends up being, this still makes for an interesting topic to discuss. Now, if this is real or even close to the philosophy of this game, there are a couple things you have to ask. For one, using the word duality would pop up the question, is this game going to have multiplayer of some kind? I think playing with the second player or even just playing as Zelda would be interesting to shake up the gameplay, even if it's just for a short section while playing as Zelda, not necessarily multiplayer. Now this highly depends on how it's used in the game. Oftentimes games can switch off the main protagonist and it hurts the gaming experience in my personal experience. Like when I was playing Spider-Man PS4 and I had to play as Mary Jane, or when I had to play as Miles Morales, I didn't really like it. I didn't mind Miles Morales as much because it was kind of exciting having Rhino chase you, but the Mary Jane sections were kind of boring. I mean, even the Doc Ock puzzles were kind of boring as well. With that being said, this sounds like a fake title to me. Breath of Duality. It just doesn't roll off the tongue at all like Breath of the Wild or even Breath of the Wild 2. So I personally think it's fake, but aside from how it sounds when saying it, the title itself just sounds fake. And since it was making the rounds, I thought I'd talk about it. So what do you guys think about it? The Legend of Zelda Breath of Duality. Do you guys think it's fake or not? And next up is a topic that I was not expecting to cover in today's show, and that is the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 delay. So yesterday, for those who have been living under a rock somewhere, the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 was delayed via a YouTube video on the Nintendo channel called Launch Timing Update for the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel. Essentially what was said in the video was that Nintendo is going to be taking an extra whole year to work on the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. Now the cool thing about this is that this really makes you ask a lot of questions. Like for instance, what the heck happened to the Master Sword? How big is this game gonna really be? Does this mean the Zelda ports have a better chance of coming to the Switch? And also, why is everyone talking about his haircut? Now, Breath of the Wild 2 being delayed into 2023 was a high possibility. They said they were aiming for 2022, which made it sound like they weren't sure if this game was gonna be done in time. So holiday season of 2022 is completely out the window now. With that being said though, we have Xenoblades 3 for holiday 2022, so that's that's easily filled in that spot that Zelda left. And not just Xenoblades 3 either, there are plenty of Nintendo Switch games that don't have release dates or do have release dates and they're going to be later into the year, so there are plenty of games to play on the Nintendo Switch and ones to look forward to. And also keep in mind that this does not mean that it won't be at E3 2022, this just means it won't release in 2022. And you know, it's like I said in my past video, I'd rather have them work on the game longer and release a fantastic game in a fantastic state than release it in a poor state. We do not want a Cyberpunk 2077 situation here. Now there is something else I want to mention here that I'm kind of glad Nintendo did here. I'm glad that Nintendo came out before E3 2023 and their Nintendo Direct that they would do like they do every year and said that yeah, this game is going to be delayed because we want to work longer on it. I mean, could you imagine if we were waiting for a very long time just for Nintendo to come out and say yeah, about that Zelda game? Now I know plenty of you guys are going to jump straight to the Zelda ports, me included, and Sam's Hunter, a Nintendo leaker with a spotty track record, keep that in mind, has come out and said that Nintendo does have some plans for Zelda still, so we'll see if that comes true or not. We know last time she said something about the Zelda games, it did not come true, so keep that in mind as well. And if it does not come true and hate is thrown her way, because again, she did not state if this was her info, a leak or whatnot, she has only herself to blame. Now, if you're not interested in Temtem, Animal Crossing, or Call of Duty, I do have a video on the Zelda ports on Wind Waker and Twilight Princess coming to the Nintendo Switch. If you want to hear about that, you can click the top right corner of this video. And if not, let's move on to some Animal Crossing. I think one thing that I've always had in the back of my mind, and I don't really know if anyone agrees with this, but I'll say it anyways, Animal Crossing needs more stuff to do with friends in multiplayer. And this may be happening with some new info that was data mined from Animal Crossing itself. Now, for those who don't know what that means, it basically means that there are files within the game that show future content for the game. A lot of times this can tell what will come and what we'll see in the future of said game, and this time it's Animal Crossing. Now, if we do get DLC and it's gonna be mini games, I do hope they have multiplayer in it because I think that's something that Animal Crossing desperately needs. And I think it's needed it for a while. It's a fantastic game, don't get me wrong, but adding some multiplayer components into it so you can have fun with your friends would be nice. And moving on to the next topic, Temtem is coming to the Nintendo Switch. Now, for those who don't remember Temtem, this game was pretty big at launch on PC. It was essentially a Pokemon game for PC, and it is going to be coming to the Nintendo Switch. So far, the devs of Temtem have sent a build to Nintendo for certification stating this. Certification is a series of processes where the platform holder reviews our game and evaluates its current status to check the adequacy of the release on said platform. This is just the first step in the process of getting the game set for the platform, and we'll have to undergo further certification in the future when the game is closer to launching, but we're trying to anticipate and prepare for any possible hiccups by starting out early. So it sounds like this is just going to be the first set of certifications sent to Nintendo for Temtem, so most likely it's going to be a while before this game comes to the Nintendo Switch. And moving on, we have Call of Duty on the Nintendo Switch, something that I think would be pretty good depending on which Call of Duty it is. This Nintendo Switch leak comes from Call of Duty leaker Ralph Ball, and this is what he said. Activision are reportedly considering releasing remastered Call of Duty titles repurposed for newer consoles to fill out the empty spaces between premium Call of Duty titles. World at War, Call of Duty 1 and 2, backward compatibility for Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Remaster are currently what's in the conversation. Everything else was described by an associate as complicated. Addressing the confusion, Modern Warfare is supposedly coming to the Nintendo Switch, its first introductory into the Call of Duty franchise for the console. And that is all I have for you guys today. That is all the news, leaks, and rumors that I've come across so far. If I missed anything, make sure you tell me in the comment section below, and I'll include them in the next episode of the Robotron Show. And also, don't forget to tell me your thoughts on these things, especially the Breath of the Wild title. I want to know if anyone else thinks it's fake, because it sounds really fake to me, like super fake. And if not, on your way out, make sure you subscribe for more videos and also have that notification bell on. And if you want to support the channel in any other way, there is my Patreon and Twitter account in the pinned comment if you're interested in those. Oh, and also have this donut if you're still sticking around for me rambling. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember, stay safe, stay charged, and have a good one.